angels, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Pedro and this is a beauty and entertainment channel, I guess, most of it. Okay, so introduction to get this out of the way. This video will be my experience as a college student. I graduated last year, so I have some things to say. Okay, so yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to. It's a fun time sometimes, unless something bad happens, so it's not that much of a fun time. But follow me anywhere if you want to. Subscribe here and leave a comment if you like. Give me some support. I'm in need of that. Oh, sorry, quick update. So I finished reading this book, as I've told you. I really enjoyed it a lot, so I don't have a review for it because I don't do reviews on books. But you can follow me on GoodReads if you want to. I'll leave the link in the description. I don't usually give that link, but I just remember that people read. So if you want to go to GoodReads, please follow me there, and we'll just update each other on our books. Okay, so let's get into this video. First of all, so as you've seen on the title, this video is about my experience as a college student and getting in, getting out of college, obviously. Let's start with getting into college phase. I have notes here with my pretty little notebook. So like, as a start, the way I figured out that I got into college was really like stupid and weird. So there was going around this kind of like leaks of the score of the last person that got into the course. Okay, so there was going around for a couple of years this leaked, or not, like this leaked allegedly spreadsheet of the score of the last person that got into the course. So before the results, it was that night, and that page got leaked. And the little stupid person that I am, I went to the Dropbox file, I downloaded it, and needless do I have to say that the score of the person that was supposedly the last person that got into my course was above mine. So it was above my score. And so I was devastated. I really like, I just I just lied down on my bedroom and I was like, okay, so this is it. I didn't got into the thing that I wanted, because like we have like an order of preference for the courses that we want here in Portugal. So I put graphic design as first and plastic arts on second. But on that time, I think I was subconsciously setting myself up, because I didn't thought that I could get into graphic design and that I would go to plastic arts, because I was experimenting a lot on the last year of college. But I ended up getting into graphic design, obviously. As you may know, I am a graphic designer, officially, I guess. So yeah, so the first experience, like that page, that spreadsheet got leaked. I saw that it wasn't my score, nor near my score, and I thought, well, let's go to plastic arts, I guess. But then, so yeah, so I received the SMS and the email, and I was like, okay, so that spreadsheet was false. Nice, I got in. So I got into graphic design in 2016. So yeah, so I got in. So the next day I kind of told everyone that I got in, that I had got into graphic design school in Caldas da Rainha. So I basically just started to like pressure my parents so that we could go house hunting, because I wanted to live there to have a full college experience. So I ended up convincing my parents to go house hunting. So I went with my dad and we saw a couple of houses. The first house was this with this really weird woman. Like she was very she had a very control figure over the person's over the kids who were at the kids. Like I was 18, not a kid, but yeah. So she was very protective over the people that were at the house. So my dad was like, well, this is probably not the best environment that you want to live in. So we better look for another ones. So yeah, we saw more like 2 houses, and I ended up staying at one that was very like chill vibes, very artistic too. So it had like a big living room, my bedroom was big, and everything was just alright. And there were like just 2 boys living there as well. So my dad was like, okay, so this looks like a nice environment, and the landlord is not like always sneaking around, so I think you better off be here. So yeah, so I ended up being on that house, and it was the house for my first year. I lived in 3 different houses, 1 house per year basically. My favorites were the first and the last one. The second one was so the moving thing, yeah, that was like very regular. Like I just packed up the little to no clothes that I have. I mostly didn't buy anything. At that time I didn't have many clothes, so I packed everything and I went. I was at my first house, living alone for the first time. Alone, like without my parents, not alone. I was like, there's 2 more people. I had friends right away. Like I met Fabio like even before we got into college, because we followed each other on Instagram and we sort of started talking. I don't remember how that happened, but we started talking even before college. So I was already talking with someone that was also getting to the same degree as me and like everything. So I was not alone, but I did felt lonely a lot of times on the first couple of weeks. I felt very lonely because my roommates were not very, I don't know, social. It's not that they were not friendly, but like I guess we didn't have much in common, the 3 of us, so we all just stayed in our rooms. The one that was like renting the whole place and stuff, he usually stayed at the living room, but because we were not very comfortable with each other, whenever a group was in the room, the other 2 were in the bedrooms. So we did not like communicate that much. I think that if I had interval of time, if I had like 4 hours of conversation with them, that was too much. I don't think we even had an hour. The whole year, I don't think we have an hour of dialogue. Like if I had recorded every little dialogue that we had, we will not have an hour. I am pretty sure of that. So I am very glad to have done college where I've done, and the degree that I had, the bachelor's that I did, wherever, course, degree, bachelor's, I don't know what's the appropriate word, honestly, I have no idea. I am very glad of everything I did, because like that place the place itself was really special. Like Caldas da Rainha just creates this creative bubble where everyone just feels so free to express themselves, and I don't think that happens a lot, especially here in Portugal. Like I guess that in Lisbon everyone feels more free to experiment and to just like experimenting your creativity, your expression, your identity, how you want to present yourself. I guess that in Lisbon and in big cities people will feel more prone and more safe to do so, but like in more small towns that doesn't really happen that much, I guess. And in Caldas you really have this bubble that you feel safe to do so. You have people around you that protect you and that make you feel like you are understood and that it's okay to do anything you want and to experiment and be free. So yeah, I'm really glad of that, like that bubble that was created around the college and the places we all went, because we we end up all going to the same places, like if I'm talking like about bars and stuff, because there are not that many. Yeah, like I've met so many different people. I've met so many different identities, and I've met so many different ideas and perceptions of the world and what they want with life, not necessarily making money and being successful. Even though I have more of a common view and ambition, like I've met people that don't necessarily go the same road as I want to go or am going. And of course there was like the first college parties. They were absolutely crazy. Like the first party that I went to, I think it was an Halloween party. It was in an old building, and it was just so magical. I wish I had recorded stuff. I don't really think I have videos about it. I'm going to search for stuff after filming this, but I don't think I have videos from the first year, because, well, first of all, when I like the first semester and a couple of months of the second one, I didn't have an iPhone, so I don't have stuff on my iCloud. Because of iCloud I have stuff from older years, but like before that I think I've lost all the photos and videos and everything. I just think I don't have stuff to show. But those college parties, like specifically the first year I think it was the year where I had like the better parties, and like the parties were good, the people playing, the DJs playing were nice and were good, and the places were fine, they were cool, there was many people there. And sadly, as the months go and like the years go by, it just started to decline. Like on the last year we had no club, so we didn't have like parties, so we did house parties. Basically we could just do house parties. On the second year we had a club for the first months, but then the club closed, and well, me and my friends just started to do house parties at my house. So we'll do house parties until 3 or 4 in the morning, and luckily no one's ever called the police, so that went well, I guess. We would have space cookies or smoke weed, whatever, and just party like we usually do. So yeah, I think that from the fun category, I think I had the most fun on the first year, because there were clubs and there were spaces doing parties. So like when you go to a party in a club, obviously the sound system and everything is just, it's good. And if you do a house party, it will be different. It will inevitably be different. So that was like the best fun year. About the creative parts, I tried like art markets and stuff like that, and I even participated at some. I ended up like creating specific stuff and designing specific stuff to then sell and make some extra money, and that was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. I even participated on the first College Late Night. That is an event that happens every year through the city. It's organized by students, and it's a really cool and creative blow up. I participated in 2, and I vlogged the last one, so I will leave on the cards my Caldas da Rainha vlog, even though it's in Portuguese, so bear with me. You can try to use the subtitles. I don't know if you're going to be able, because like Google subtitles, just sometimes it doesn't work that well. So yeah, so I, through that selling stuff and creating specific stuff to sell, I actually ended up making a decent amount of money. So it allowed me to spend more money, to like have fun doing stuff that requires money. So now we're getting into the specifics from the first year. So first of all, I had little to no idea of what graphic design was, to be honest. Like I did a little research, but I really had no idea of the whole spectrum that graphic design can be, and like even right now the more experimental it gets. Like at that time I didn't know even the basics. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to use software. I had no background basically. So the only thing that I had was that I knew how to draw, and I had like a pretty decent like visual aesthetic already. So I just got along. I think it's okay. It's okay to start a degree in something that you know nothing about. It's okay. Like I'm talking about creative fields. Like I don't know about mathematics or science. I guess you shouldn't go if you don't know anything about it. I'm talking about creative field. Okay. It's okay to enjoy. It's okay to get along. It's okay to go with the process, to learn while studying. It really it's no big deal. You don't have to know how to draw. You don't have to know how to use Photoshop and Illustrator before getting into college. It's just fine. You'll be fine. You will be just fine. So yeah. So besides that, the first year was very experimental, like crazy experimental. The first stuff that we did, we were doing analog stuff. Like we had to do collages and use a printer to replicate stuff and like play with the scales. We had to use a printer for that, so it was very analog and very experimental. And I think that helped a lot to make our brain be more critical with layouts and just like getting into the mind of what it's like to project something and play with positions and layouts and aesthetics, I guess. So yeah, I think that because the first year is very experimental, it's very broad and it's suited for every kind of person. It's not specific for, because you don't have to come with an art background, let alone a graphic design background. You don't need that. So yeah, you can join these bachelors without that, and I think that's pretty nice and it's pretty good, and it's a very well thought thing. Okay, so we have to address the elephant in the room, that is my second year of college. So it was pretty much the emotional train wreck of my life. That second year, that is something for the grave. I will put on the grave that if I survive my second year of my college degree, I will survive anything pretty much. So this year I just put myself through a lot. First of all, I was living with 4 more people in the same house. I was pretty much an emotional wreck most of the time. And like when I say this, I don't mean that like I was very, very depressed and I was sad all the time. Of course, I had fun times and I had times that I was happy, but like as a whole, I was very, very emotional roller coaster living. And that environment and everything around my regular life with college, like that year, it just, sorry. So this whole perspective, it really messed up my college performance. Like that year was a mess. I did the bare minimum most of the time, because also that year was a year where I did a lot of cool stuff also, but I think that I did a lot of cool stuff because I was very, very sad and very emotionally unstable. So that leads me to be really creative and express myself through some kind of art. So I think that as I was doing a lot of like bare minimum stuff, I also was doing a lot of creative things because I was very frustrated. Regardless of that, I had indeed a very not good year, not good grades. Not that I care about grades, but I could have done better basically. This was also a very interesting year because I had a lot of experimental stuff. I did silk screen printing, I can show you some things that I did. I'll put them here. I did some silk screen, I did a photography class, and all that was very nice for me because we were doing analog photography, and I think that was very fun to do. And I wish I had soaked in more of that. I'll probably have done better, and I will take this opportunity with more a better approach basically. But anyway, so it was a very experimental year, a year where we spent a lot of money also because silk screen printing costs a lot of money, and we had to spend a lot of money. Luckily, I had parents to help me, but if I did not, I guess I was screwed. This year was also the year where my aesthetics on design kind of changed and went to the path where I am right now. This was the year where I kind of found the aesthetic and the things that I like to do as a designer. So I am very happy with that. That was really nice to happen on the second year, because on the third year it allowed me to explore on the maximum everything that I was very interested in. But also, as I said, it was a train wreck. So what do you think? Did I finish all my classes of the second year? No, I did not. I left one class, and it was an After Effects class, so you may guess that I really took a long time to finish that, but I'm going to tell more about that at the end. Oh, also, I would actually have failed more classes from the first semester if it was not for my now ex-boyfriend. I didn't finish the class for After Effects, but I was almost not finishing a class for photography, for example. We had a big project in photography, and I was very numb, very emotionally stable, and I was very emotionally unstable. So if my boyfriend at the time was not
no, I'm going to help you, let me just help you with this, let's get on these briefings and do this, you have to do this, you're not going to let this just skip by.
And he's a really nice person, he really helped me on that time. Actually that year was great for us creatively. I really helped him a lot also with his last project, final project for his bachelor's, so we helped a lot each other. That was nice. So second year, because it was so unstable, such a roller coaster, it was the year where I felt the most complete creatively. I think I was doing a lot of creative stuff. I was doing Instagram magazines, I was doing a lot of illustration, tote bags, t-shirts. I was selling in art markets. I created Redbubble, where I sold merch, kind of. So I think that because this year was such a roller coaster, and because this year was so much and so overwhelming, very normal that it was also the year where I explored myself and my identity more. I started painting my nails that year, I started to play with makeup that year also. I wore crop tops, I didn't wear skirts that year, it was the year after. But I started to do that on that year. That year was the breaking point for me. So yeah, now we're running to the third year, the last year of college, the year where I did not do an internship, a curricular internship. I did a regular third year, only classes the whole time. This was the year where the quality and the creativity of my work actually peaked. I am believing that the third year was my best year of college work, absolutely. I did a lot of experimental stuff. I mixed a lot of medias. My mind was just like in another place that year. I did that. I wish college would have been like 5 years and not 3. Could you imagine? I was going to finish college this year or next year. Besides, this year actually gave me a lot of boring classes and unnecessary classes, and especially the first semester. It had a lot of like, what was that? I don't know what was that. Like, I had a lot of classes that helped me with nothing. It just helped me to lose time and have bad grades. Basically, I had 10s on that classes because I didn't want to do them. Besides that, on the classes that I actually enjoyed, I had like a great time. I had such challenging classes where I did a typeface. I did a lot of work for my main class, a lot of great work, a lot of creative work, and that year actually made me develop a lot of good friendships that I think that are going to last long. Like, I think that year allowed us to develop the friendship and be more intimate and more close. So I don't have much to say about that year. I will say that it was a year a lot of stress, with a lot of creativity, and also the year where I started my channel. So it was a year with a lot of experimenting, and I think that my work actually peaked on that year. And I'm waiting to start working as a graphic designer so that I can have my peak again. But I don't know if I'll have it. We'll see. I don't want to peak as a graphic designer. Just let's say that I want to peak creatively. It doesn't need to be in graphic design. Okay, so let's just get that clear. I just want to peak creatively again. Okay, so yeah. So at the end of the 3rd year, obviously I finished college. I graduated, but this did not happen in June, which is the regular time people graduate. So as I told you, I left a class from the 2nd year, and guess what happened on the 1st year? On the last year, I also left another class. So I had 2 classes to finish, and I did not finish them in June. So what I did was, we have those like special exams, so I ended the typography class. I ended in September. I did the extra exam, so I took everything that I was doing on the semester and I was re-evaluated, and I got a good grade. I was happy with it. I was happy with my work, happy with the presentation, happy with the professor and all the help he gave me. Unfortunately, After Effects I did not pass, so I had to do the whole work again. I had to redo everything, and I had the exam in November, I think it was at the end of November. So I did the exam and I passed, so I obviously graduated in 2019 in November, 25 of November, I think. So yeah, I graduated anyway, so I'm not like ashamed of it. Like, I did what I had to do. I failed the After Effects class because I was very lazy, so I already said that I wish I had done that differently, but it's done. And I failed typography because I was doing the typeface, but it was not going the way I wanted it to go, and it was not going the road I wanted it to go. And so I just decided to focus on the other classes and leave that for another time. So basically I knew I was going to fail, and I knew I was going to do it later. So yeah, I did it. In September I finished it. The next chapter are regrets. I have some regrets. I've talked about this on a podcast that I was doing in Portuguese before quarantine, The first of all is not doing an internship. As I was saying, I did not do a curricular internship, and I regret that. I regret not doing it because not that I was capable of doing. I should have done a curricular internship because it would have allowed me to get into the business faster. So I am still trying to get a job as a graphic designer, and this is taking me a while because I have no experience. I only have college experience, and that does not get me anywhere basically. And I need experience. I need professional experience, obviously. So I should have had a curricular internship, so I had a step ahead. But unpaid internships are just not for everyone. Not everyone can do this, and not everyone has the money and possibilities to do an unpaid internship. And so I didn't do it. At that time, I was not able to afford that, and my parents didn't give me any options that I could do. So I was not able to afford. My parents were not able to afford, so I didn't do it. And now I'm doing a long road. Hopefully this will change soon. We'll see. But I do regret not doing it. The last semester was really great and was really grieving. But if we were doing like 5 years, I would have done an internship. If we had 5 years of college. I also regret doing the bare minimum when I know that I am capable of doing more and doing better. There was a lot of times where I would just do quick stuff to pass by, to just get this over with, and I really could have had more and better work to present, and therefore I would have better grades. Again, I don't really care much about grades because grades aren't very important. Our portfolio is much more important than grades, but I do regret, even though I did great stuff, I also did very mediocre stuff, and I wish that mediocre was great and the grade was fantastic. But it's done, and I can only do better from now on. So if you're listening to this and you're going to start college, or you're still doing college, do better. You can do better. We can always do better, as long as our mental health allows us to do better. Because I am not talking about the times where I was not doing great mentally. I'm talking about the times where I was okay, but I was just being lazy. So this clinches to a whole perspective that I wish I had balanced better the college life and college work with social life and social activities. Because I had a very social life during college, but I could have had that same good social life and still doing great work in college. I was just, a lot of times I was very lazy, and I would just do mediocre and do bare minimum. And I regret that I did not care that much about doing great in both ways. But I'm pretty sure that when and if I ever start a master's, that I will do better because I will be more mature. I'm not going to do the master's this year. I don't think I will even try to get in next year. I think that I'll leave that to 2022. Hopefully I'll have money then, and well, hopefully I will have more subscribers that age, and maybe I can be a part-time YouTuber and doing a master's in graphic design. I am not sure if I want to do editorial design or anything else, so that's also something that I have to think about and really calculate good, because I would very much enjoy to be, I'll really like to be a professor and a teacher in college, so I want to do a master's and so on and so on. And I would very much like to be a professor someday. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and and share it with people who are going to college soon. So I really hope you're having a good time, and if you're not having a good time, believe me, you're not alone. Just seek help if you think you have to. So yeah, obviously college is a very roller coaster thing for a lot of people, so believe me, you're not alone. If you need help, go seek for it, go for it. If you're okay and doing fine, I'm glad you are, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.